Hey, what's going on, guys? Scott is here. I'm here, man. It's been a minute since I spoke with you guys, but I'm finally here to let y'all know what's going on. So, I actually just had a lot of family issues that have happened recently, and so I actually switched to another flight school. So, technically, it's my third flight school that I've attended. But let me tell you something. It's actually been a very, very, very good experience. So, this flight school is in California, so that changed like the whole dynamic. So, uh, with that being said, one of my last videos I did, it was talking about switching flight schools, what does it mean, and things like that, and what I thought about it. Well, this time I'm on my third flight school, and here in Northern California. And so at this school, I was actually I had to come in town for I didn't know how long, but I knew I wanted to continue training. So when I came in town, I looked at a couple different flight schools online, and then I said, "Well, what is the closest one to the house?" So I found this one. This one is called Aerosphere. Really cool. Shane and his lovely fiance Amber, and so I actually drove over there, and I spoke to the FBO, and I was asking them, like, hey, how do I get in touch with them? They say, go, call this number. They gave me the same number I had, and I just couldn't get in touch with them immediately. But when they gave me a call, I told them exactly where I was, what was going on, and what I need to do. And he was like, hey, well, you got time to meet me tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow, the next day, on a Saturday at 12. We're just going to talk. And so I said, yeah, let's go do it. So I went over to the FBO to go meet him. And I mean, it was just cool immediately. He was cool on the phone, but he was even cooler in person. And they were just kind of like they're not really like a mom and pop. They actually own another flight school in Colorado. But here they have this flight school, which is an extension of the Colorado one. So not technically a mom and pop, but the way that Shane and her kind of run it as though it's just, it is kind of mom and pop. So the experience there it has been really, really good. I have access to them. I have access to planes. They have two Piper, a Piper Warrior and a Piper, I think it's two Piper Warriors. One's a 160, one's a 180. And so I started with just flying with Shane himself, the owner. Tell you, it was like immediately. He's actually a jet pilot. He's got like 20 something thousand hours. And it was different getting in a plane with him versus getting in a plane with just say a student that's, working on their hours to get up to, the airline. So flying with an actual jet pilot was totally a different experience. I think it's a different mentality and different way that he teaches. And also, I understand the flight school about the money, but you can tell he's really not heavily about the money. Like he really got in there and was like, hey, do this. He kind of lets me loose a little bit until I, stepped outside. He knew I had about 21 hours when I came here. And so he kind of like, let me see what you can do. And so he let me free, kind of do what I want a little bit. And then he jumped in and I was like, okay, this is what we need to do. So he pretty much, I'm talking about like shifted me right into being able to solo. Then I was able to solo right at 29, right before 30. And so I thought I thought I would get it way before, but when you're switching three schools like that, I could see how that could happen. So I was able to get it right at 30. I did my first solo. Oh my goodness, y'all. Let me tell you something. Solo has been fun. Solo is interesting. Actually, I should have went up the day before yesterday. But the solo experience is a whole nother world. Well, first, Amber set me up with a pre-solo exam, and that pre-solo exam, hers was like, I think almost 100 questions. And it was just basically a lot of stuff that I had done in the written, because I took my written before. A lot of stuff I did in my written, but she made me pretty much answer all these different questions, all the air speeds, all the V's, and just just bringing it all back. I thought it was a bit expensive from the last school, which they gave me one, but I never completed it. And theirs was only like maybe 20 questions. Hers was very extensive. But overall, I'm happy about that. I like whenever it's extensive like that. Like I feel like, as much information I can absorb in this industry, I want to. As y'all know, I'm a student pilot. I mean, I'm new to this. I had another career before this, so I don't know everything. So let me absorb as much as I can. I don't just want to go jump up there and fly and see what happens. I'm actually interested in understanding everything I can about about aviation, about flying. So it's really good that she made it that in depth. So once I've been to pre-solo, Shane went over it with me, Amber went over it with me. We discussed just in more detail everything about it, and so finally it was time to solo.